Good evening and welcome to the Town of Douglas Conservation Commission meeting of January 6th, 2025. The meeting is being recorded and broadcast by local access programming and with remote participation available as provided on our agenda. Is there anyone here that's recording tonight's meeting? Nope, seeing none. I hereby call this meeting to order at 6:32. I'd like a roll call of members, please.
Jim Foran.
Brendan Doyle.
Kate Thompson.
Mike Greco.
Josiah Birch.
And Mark Mungem. Thanks, everybody. First off is a review of meeting minutes. Has anybody had a chance to look at them?
I have.
Oh, Matt has.
So
Thank you, Matt.
the only change is the spelling of the last name, the Stantec rep of new business, item 2, Michelle Simino. I think there's an X on the end of her name, but that's the only edit I have for this, and I'll double check that when I get back. Otherwise, I'll make a motion to approve as written,
Which ones?
October 7th.
Oh,
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mike Greco, moved by Jim Foran. Those in favor?
Jim Foran, aye.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
You were absent, Josiah, so, okay. Mark Mungem, aye. Thank you.
The October 1st minutes, under October 21st. Under old business, item 3, it's the last paragraph on page 1. It's a motion to issue a notice of intent. It's either approve the notice of intent or issue an order of conditions. It's one or the other, so I'll just say motion to approve the notice of intent. That is the only edit I have on these.
That was October 21.
Yep.
Is there a motion to approve these meeting minutes?
Make a motion to approve for October 21st, 2024 meeting minutes as amended.
Second?
Second.
Mike Greco seconds. Roll call vote.
Jim Foran, aye.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mungem, aye.
So for the November 4th minutes, the only edit I have is item 12 on page 2, where it says 3535. Underneath that, Brendan Doyle, last name's got an extra Y in it, and that's the only edit I have in these. Otherwise, these are all done very well. Mark was absent for this one.
Yeah, is there a motion to approve these meeting minutes?
Sure, make a motion to approve November 4th as amended.
Second, anyone?
I'll second.
Brendan seconds. Roll call vote, please.
Jim Foran, aye.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Josiah Birch, aye.
I have no vote. All right, thank you very much. Thanks, Matt. Moving on to new business. Open meeting for request for determination, public meeting, 1B Street, map 142, lot 132, barn demolition project. I would,
Yep. I'll make a motion to waive the reading of the public.
all right, Jim's made a motion to waive the reading of the public meeting notice. There's a second.
Second.
Mike Greco seconds. All those in favor?
Jim Foran, aye.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Josiah Birch, aye.
And Mark Mungem, aye. Meeting is now open. Is there a representative for this project that could speak to it for us?
Mr. Chairman, I received a letter from the applicant representative today. I'll read this into the record. This is my apologies for being unable to attend this evening. A 7-year-old mother had a health emergency that required our presence. When these row houses on B Street were built, very few people had a car, so parking was not as necessary as it is today. There are 4 two-bedroom apartments in the building, potential for 8 vehicles in need of parking. The removal of the barn allows for 7 cars to park behind the building and getting almost all of them off the street. In addition, there is a dumpster for trash removal that now has space. As the property managers of 1B Street LLC, we were told by our insurance company that they would no longer insure the barn due to the fact that the roof was caving in and the building was leaning to one side, and that it was a fire hazard being so close to the house with wood that was very old and very dry. Felt it necessary to ensure the tenant's safety to have the barn removed. So, in her absence, I took some pictures today. The barn has been taken down because it was a safety. That's right. You. Okay, share my screen.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, is this an after the fact? Because it's
Yes.
it's been taken down.
Yeah, they took it down because the building department declared it a public safety issue, so we had no issue with that. That's the barn as it appeared in 2019. I mean, it was in worse shape in the pictures you'll see in your RDA. But when I took some pictures of the site, this barn has been removed. It's now parking area, gravel area. Kind of blended it in very nicely. There's still some stumps and debris kind of put up on top as kind of a barrier. And there's no runoff or anything in the street that made its way down into the water. There's no evidence of any runoff or anything that made it down over here. So given this was a public safety issue, they did remove the barn already, which we talked about with them in advance, and had them file an after-the-fact RDA for this.
How is this in our jurisdiction, Matt? Is this
within
within
200
feet of the river?
area.
Okay.
Yep. It was like 160 feet. It's pretty far, but
Does their proposal indicate what they will do with the ground once the building has been removed?
I know that we're going to make it a parking area, and they've put the gravel down there now, as you can see in the photos.
Right there.
Do you know what, or can you tell us what the composition of that gravel is? Because we had the issue with the house on North Street where they put down the grindings, asphalt grindings, and we made them remove them and put a gravel down that was permeable. Is this in the aquifer recharge area? Do we know?
I believe this is. But I mean, given what was there previously, I'd consider this a one-to-one swap, right? So the garage was pretty beat up. I mean, I understand, but at the same time, that's
Was it pavement under the barn before, Matt, do you know?
yeah, it was. I'm trying to get that. Freaking Zoom bars in the way. Hold on. I'm gonna stop sharing so I can pull it up. Share it again. Yeah, so there was asphalt here already and a pervious roof there. On the other side, you can tell that, I think it wrapped around and there was pavement in between the 2 garages as well. It looks like they cleaned it up nicely. They did a really nice job of cleaning it up, making it look good. Back and the existing asphalt that was behind it, still right here. Demo was done over the course of one day. think it was right before New Year's, Friday before, I think.
Any thoughts on this from commission members? I mean, I know it's after the fact, but I think we would have the ability to condition the RDA if we wanted them to keep it gravel and not pave it, or if that's even a concern.
I feel like as long as there's no runoff, then, and it looks like it's permeable, I could be wrong, but it would probably be fine.
Yep.
So that they don't blacktop it,
Yeah.
the rest of the driveway.
But if the original building was there and you didn't have the ability to get water through the roof
Yeah.
to a permeable soil, what difference does it make what they do with it at that point? It's no different than it was if they pave it. It'd have the same impact as if the building was there, right?
Yes. Yeah, I'm throwing it out there as only because, like I said, on North Street, we required somebody to actually remove recycled asphalt and replace it with gravel that was permeable. So it just to be, consistent, should we just have them keep this as being permeable?
And remind me, that was due to there being runoff already, is that correct?
On the other one?
Yeah.
It's because they were in the aquifer protection area,
Got it.
and they took a lawn area. And
Got it,
so, speaking to what Brendan said, it wasn't,
right, 1-to-1.
no. So
Yeah.
Were they like closer than 100 feet, or?
I think they're closer, yeah.
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 Yeah, this is further away. So, I guess the only, do we condition it or not? Not worry about it and let them just say that, and give them a negative RDA?
I think I'd be supportive of that.
Negative RDA without any conditions?
Correct.
Okay,
Want me to make a motion?
sure.
Oh, yeah. Public comment.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Any public comment, or anybody in the public want to comment on this? Okay,
Hearing closed.
I will declare the hearing closed.
All right, I'll make a motion to make a negative RDA determination for 1B Street, map 142, lot 132, barn demo.
Second,
A second?
Brendan seconds that. All those in favor of the negative RDA determination?
Jim Farn, aye.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Josiah Birch, aye.
Mark Mungem, aye. Next up, item number 2 on our agenda, 6:30 PM, Order of Conditions Amendment, DEP number 143-1042, public hearing, Order of Conditions Amendment for the cubes at Gilboa Street, stormwater and infrastructure correction, map 139 and 140, lot 1 and 9. I'm going to waive the reading of the,
Make a motion to waive the reading of the public meeting notice.
is there a second?
Second.
Mike Greco seconds that. All those, roll call vote,
Jim
please.
Farn, aye.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Josiah Birch, aye.
Mark Mungem, aye. I will now open the public meeting. Is there a representative from the Cubes? Please come forward, give us your name and address.
Do we have the?
Swear it's sticky. Good evening, Chair and fellow commissioners. Devin Howe from Fields Associates here on behalf of the owner and applicant CRG Integrated Real Estate. As has been stated, we're here to request an amendment to the order of conditions. I'm sure, as the commission well knows, over the past about year or so, we've been working to restore the area as part of the Cubes at Gilboa project down near the infiltration basin during a series of storms. December of 2023, there was an overtopping of the roadway as part of the project's roadway. Overtopped, caused the embankment to erode down towards a depression in the town of Uxbridge, as well as towards an isolated land subject to flooding. As we worked with the town of Uxbridge, Douglas, to restore that area, this is really that formal process to just make sure we have all the paperwork of the restoration work that has since been completed on both all the embankment, the roadway utilities, stormwater infrastructure, and so on. Happy to answer any questions the commission may have or get into nitty-gritty on the details of what we've done. Back over to the chair.
Okay, thank you. So this is to address changes that were made based upon the issues from the storm that are, so the plan is different, or what was built is different from what was permitted through the notice of intent in Douglas, correct?
Yes, we made some alterations to the stormwater basin itself, in addition to the roadway itself. More or less stayed in the same spot, but we made some alterations just to, in the event it ever were to overtop again. Hopefully, now that the basin's been restored, all the fines and sediment that completely blinded that basin during construction have been removed. We made some alterations, just as some additional belt and suspenders to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Do you have like a summary list of those changes that were made to the
Within
notice of intent plan?
within the booklet that we submitted to the commission, there's a detailed.
Okay. Brandon, have you looked at that, and do you have any comment?
I have. I think that the amendment is appropriate, which is what the commission had been talking about earlier, and that there were changes significant enough that really couldn't be called minor and accept them for a certificate of compliance. And the changes included the actual, what I think are improvements, and well, it fixes to the basin because they found fill material underneath it, which would, tell me if I'm wrong, probably contributed to the low infiltration rate that nobody expected because nobody knew the fill was there. And the fact that the commission, as part of the restoration, required an overflow, an emergency overflow outlet, which it didn't exist before. And that is now in place, and I think that is a good thing. Instead of going over the road, it's going to go into a pipe that goes underneath the road and to the other side. So all these changes, I think, have been positive changes and worthy of approval under an amendment.
That booklet that you just showed me, is that something that you can pass around?
Sure. The cover letter is really labeled right on it, if anybody has any.
I have an extra one.
Yeah, go around the other way.
Okay. Thank-
And I even have one more extra right here. So I'm just going to pass that one down. Keep the flow going.
That way we can,
Thank you.
With that cover letter, it really explains what happened with the failure and why they think it happened and the measures that they took to fix it, which is the subject of the amendment.
In your review, Brandon, do the changes that were made have any further negative impact on the resource areas?
No, no. The resource areas are on the other side of the road, so if you're looking at this picture up here, you can see the road on the left-hand side, the resource area is on the left-hand side, at the bottom of the hill. In fact, here we go. So there it is. And the town line is somewhere around this first tree. So resource area is actually in Uxbridge,
Right.
which they were required to restore. And so far, there has been no negative impact. The negative impact occurred because of the decidedly unexpected slow infiltration rate of the basin and the fact that it didn't have an emergency overflow outlet, so it went over the road and it collapsed the road. And the road ended up down in that hole where the wetland is. So that's been all cleaned up. You can see they did restorative plantings down at the bottom in Uxbridge, which is really not your problem. But presuming that the infiltration rate is good, the stormwater calculations are good, which I have no reason to see why they aren't, even though I'm not an engineer, it will not have a negative impact.
If the chair would allow me, after the original damage had occurred, the basin was pumped out over quite a while. It was
Yeah.
pumped down.
Yes.
And the first time that I personally got word, I remember it was a Friday, it was late afternoon on a Friday, I got word that the bottom of the basin was finally exposed. I actually drove down to Douglas, went on site and performed an infiltration test we called it double ring infiltrometer test. But for the first time that it's ever happened to me, I reported a 0 infiltration rate. I was there, I want to say for about an hour and got 0, flat nothing. I've never seen that. Even on really bad soils, you still get at least something. So really the main issue was just the sheer amount of sediment that got deposited during construction, which was, I want to say it was about 4 inches, to the point where I was in my nice work attire and almost slipped and fell because it was just so slippery and so mucky. But now that the basin's been restored, we've gone from 0 infiltration rate to about 20 inches per hour, whereas the design was right around 9 inches per hour. So we've, as part of this restoration work, it's actually right now a little over double the design infiltration.
To the chair, yeah, see that the slopes on the side with the grass, they were not stabilized this time last year, so they were little gullies going down into it. They were filling the basin up with fine sediment, which further slowed down the infiltration rate. But that is now not an issue.
Yeah, and an additional thing that we did is you can actually see on that photo where the riprap starts. That's actually where the original design grade of the basin was. So as part of that, what Brandon was also alluding to was that there were unsuitables underneath the sediment, but even in those unsuitables, we still did get an infiltration rate. But regardless, when all those unsuitables were removed, instead of bringing the basin back up, figured might as well get an additional 4 or 5 feet of storage capacity. So we ended up leaving the basin bottom at that lower elevation, pick up that additional volume of storage. And it's, at this point, I think it's, don't quote me on it, ever seen about 12 to 18 inches of water from when I've been told. Whenever I get out there, it's empty. So it's been functioning very well.
Chair, the infiltration basins are supposed to drain within 72 hours. I've never seen these last a day. It's fully dry. After we had like a 2-inch rainstorm, it was dry the next day. Great infiltration.
Through the process of repair, you had to pump this basin out And you had to pump it through the chambers on the other side, I believe, or into other areas. Are those areas still working as well as what was
It's still
proposed and
been,
planned?
Functioning as well. What we actually did is, during the pumping process, obviously, there's that sediment that's still in that basin.
Right.
You don't want to fix one problem.
And put it somewhere else,
Yeah,
right.
create a problem somewhere else. So they pumped it through 2 frac tanks before it went into the infiltration system on the west side of the site. To this day, again, whenever I've gone to that west side and tried to get a reading of that system, I only ever get about 3 to 4 inches of water, which is just that standing water elevation. So even after going after some big rain events where we've gotten a couple inches of water, I consistently always get the same reading, suggesting it's just draining very, very quickly. So it's, to answer your question, the west side has been functioning fine.
Great.
Mr. Chairman, up on the screen, you see a sample of the material. This goes back to August when they first laid it down. So that's the material that's on the top of the basin now, well, the top of the bottom of the basin, which is a gravelly sand, the coarse sand.
Okay. I have 2 other questions. The town of Uxbridge, they issued a cease and desist and required you guys to do some additional work. Are you okay with the town of Uxbridge at this point?
Yes, we
So-
still, our next step is we need to file for a certificate of compliance. So the town of Douglas believes that our amendment request is acceptable and grants that amendment, then we would also need to then request, we believe we're at the point where we could actually request a certificate.
And were all the changes to the notice of intent plan in this area at Infiltration Basin 1? There's no other changes to the plan elsewhere on the site?
No, our restoration plan is really, it's not even, doesn't include the whole plan set of like 100 sheets. It's only focused in on the infiltration basin because that's the only thing that did change.
All right.
Probably be looking for a partial from Uxbridge, as they still have, the replication area has the last 2 growing seasons, as you know.
Right.
So, but still, could receive that by the end of spring.
Okay. Commission members, do anybody have any questions or thoughts or concerns? No?
No.
Anybody in the public have any comment they want to make? All right.
No.
Seeing nothing, I guess we can I'll close the public hearing. And may have a motion to approve the changes to the notice of intent.
So, make a motion to approve the amendment for the DP 143-1042, order of condition amendments, cubes at Gilboa, stormwater and infrastructure, map 139 and 140, lot 1 and 9.
Mr. Chairman, opportunity for discussion?
Sure.
After a second.
After the second. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Greco. Discussion?
So in the amended order of conditions, there's going to be a revised set of special conditions, many of which really no longer apply, and a lot of them, like there were over 100 special conditions last time. They were very difficult to follow. So I was hoping to be able to pare them down to this, what I would call the standard special that we've been doing, for every other. And I want to know if there were any special conditions in particular that you're interested in for this.
I wasn't thinking of any. Are there any that you feel like we should have? with this.
Well, I think that you should keep the requirements for long-term operation and maintenance plan in perpetuity. That's going to be very important with this stormwater system. You don't want to see it plugging back up due to lack of maintenance. Right? Other than that, I'm not really too concerned. Most of the site is taking care of the stormwater structure, BMPs.
Yeah, I guess I'm not really fully understanding what it is you're suggesting.
Just to keep the maintenance plan.
Well, we
up and
can
afloat.
keep the special conditions from when it was originally issued. There's nothing wrong with that. A lot of them really don't apply anymore because the site is pretty much stable. Everything's been built, so, if you want to, clean it up, special conditions, and throw out stuff that really isn't necessary anymore, we can do that, or we can just keep it in there and just mention the changes that are being made. So I'm just throwing it out.
Not having all the special conditions in front of me and to be able to review them, not really wanting to go through all of them, I think I would rather just keep the special conditions as they are and not.
Yeah, I got to agree with the chairman on that. Yeah. And I wasn't here when this project got started,
Neither was I.
and it's been a few changes, so,
Then that's what I will do.
yeah.
It's good to get it on the record anyway.
Yep.
So amend the motion to include standard special conditions with the long-term operation and maintenance plan?
Yes, and I suppose the conditions that are already in place.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to approve the amended order of conditions. All those in roll call vote?
Jim Foran, aye.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Mike Greco.
Mike Greco, aye.
Aye or no?
Or- Mike Greco, aye.
Josiah Birch abstain.
Mark Mungem, aye.
So there was a motion to approve the amendment to the motion. Now you guys need to make a motion.
Yeah. All right, I'll make,
Or now you need to vote on the original. Do it again. Go for another.
I'm confused.
You guys,
How did we did-
amended the previous motion. You voted on that amendment?
did we amend the previous motion?
Yes, with the standard conditions and the long-term operation and maintenance.
We didn't want to change the standard conditions. We wanted to keep the same
Was the
conditions.
long-term operation and maintenance plan part of the original conditions?
I think it was.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
Okay, all right, then we're all set. Sorry.
yeah.
Sorry. Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
thank you.
thanks.
Are we skipping Lakeshore Drive? Okay.
All right, no old business. No old business. Wow. Enforcement orders, 50 Lakeshore Drive.
We don't have any new information.
No new information?
So I sent out to the abutters, we will not be discussing it this evening until we hear from DEP.
All right. Moving on then to certificate of compliance and extensions, number 5, request for certificate of compliance, DP number 143-1045, Richard Cherrier, 22 Conservation Drive.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Rob Cherrier, son of Richard for Lucky Den Properties. and we're seeking a certificate of compliance for 22 Conservation Drive in Douglas.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I conducted a site walk in December on this property. The request of the realtor, they're trying to close on this property as soon as possible. So I went out and did a site walk on this. Pictures are up above. Got, there's still grass that needs to take, but the signs for conservation are posted. This is still some of the areas where the grass needs to take. It's been hydroseeded, so it will eventually come up. It's just a matter of when. Those are the notice for environmental signs. There's got to be 8 of those. There's plenty of those all around the property. Just kind of walking around the left side, across the back. So the back of the property, yard, septic area. Front of the house, street. So from the street, it just needs, the grass really needs to take, so it can prevent any future erosion or any issues. That was, what is that, Rob?
It's like underground electrical. box.
Right, okay. Forgot what that was. So, I'd say that the house was built in accordance with the approved plan. I'd recommend issuing a partial certificate of compliance so that the grass could grow. But that's it. Otherwise, this is built right in accordance with the approved plan. Well, septic's all located.
Did everybody have this under 5? I didn't have anything in mind.
It's number 5.
I thought so.
Yeah, it is number 5, 22 Conservation Drive. I got one.
Oh,
Shared.
Yeah, if you don't mind. Oh, yeah, thank
I
you.
missed one.
That's all right.
I did the packet, so you can blame me.
Yeah, that's all right.
It's not a big deal.
So the only thing that looks very different is the distribution box is a little bit in a little different location than the, what was proposed. Other than that, it looks like, as you said, it looks like the grading is pretty similar.
Yep.
The 110 contour line runs a little bit closer to the property line than what the plan showed. Not substantially different. Is the area of work, stayed within the area of work?
Yes. A couple times he had to fix erosion control measures on the left side of the property, but he did respond and do that accordingly.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I went to the property today just to take a look at it, and it looks a lot better than those pictures, actually.
No,
Looks
thank
like you added some more hydro seed and,
Right.
yeah, but,
I have that already. If there's a problem, we'll come, and it needs more, they're all set to
yeah,
hydroseeded again.
but it's frozen.
Yeah. That,
But that thing is up pretty high, though.
yeah,
I was kind of surprised
Right.
how it sits, but,
The house,
yeah,
is it?
yeah, but it's nice,
Thank you.
yep.
Okay. We have the letter from the engineer who has stated that the work is in substantial compliance with the order conditions, and they haven't noted any changes or variations from the plan. So that's in order. Yes, I would say that.
Certificate?
Partial, that we need to wait until the grass is actually grown in before we can give a final certificate of compliance. You want to make that motion, or someone make that motion?
Make a motion to make a partial certificate of compliance until the grass grows in for DP 143-1045 for 22 Conservation Drive, map 145, lot 13.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion, any comments? Hearing none. Roll call vote?
Jim Foreign,
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Josiah Birch, aye.
Mark Mungem, aye. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll have that ready tomorrow.
Okay, thanks. Just give me a call or somewhere, email.
Okay.
Yep.
Sorry. No, you're fine.
Moving on, item number 6, a request for certificate of compliance, DP number 143-1073, for the Bay State Trail Riders, Maple Street, map 190, lot 6. Hi, Becky.
Becky Callagher with Bay State Trail Riders Association, requesting a certificate of compliance for our 2 bridges on our finished trail.
Thank you. Thanks for coming in.
Chairman, I was out there today. Got pictures up on the screen, kind of the start. I got appropriate wayfinding sign for both the trails. It was a very nice touch. This is the first bridge, the DEP file number posted. Very well constructed. That came out very nicely. Allows the wetlands crossing to go uninhibited underneath. No issues there. Really nice. And that's from the opposite side. And this is the second crossing. So it's built up a little bit. It's built up nicely. So you can see underneath. Most water to pass. I noticed that there was a log in here, but I'm glad you guys didn't touch it because it probably fell naturally. That was good. And from the opposite side, there was a little dedication there, so that was nice. Bridge from the other side. Everything looks nice. Built according to the plan. Recommended full certificate of compliance for this.
All right, thanks, Matt. I also have walked the trail a few times since the bridges were installed, and I would agree with Matt that I didn't have the plan with me when I walked the trail, but yeah, it looked like it was done exactly as the plan showed it was going to be done, and they look great. And I appreciate the work Bay State Trail Riders has done, so I think it's been awesome. Any other comments or concerns, questions? I want to make a motion to,
Sure. Make a motion to issue a certificate of compliance for DP 143-1073 Bay State Trail Riders, Maple Street, map 190, lot 6.
is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Josiah. Motion's been made by Jim and seconded by Josiah to approve the certificate of compliance for DP number 143-1073, Bay State Trail Riders. Roll call vote?
Jim Farn, aye.
Excuse me. Brendan Doyle, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Josiah Birch, aye.
Mark Mungem, aye. Thank you, Becky, appreciate it. What's your next project?
Actually, probably to work on improving some of the trails behind the school. So,
Becky, we have another item on our agenda. We're going to discuss some of the open space. You might want to stick around as a member of the Open Space Committee.
I can do that.
All right, great. Thank you.
Item number 7, request for certificate of compliance, DEP number 143-207. Mr. Gerald Leclerc, 60 Northwest Main Street, map 186, lot 1.
I know, tell me about it.
You want some gum?
I'm good.
Hi, folks. I'm Gerald Leclerc, 60 Northwest Main Street, requesting a certificate of compliance.
Mr. Chairman, this is one of our oldest order of conditions. It's like 143207. This was 1990.
Oh.
Ooh, the year I graduated.
So there was no as-built plan for this. But I do have the original plan here. You can see it. Dust it off. Oh, I'll pull up
So
some
what,
pictures of the
30
site.
years old.
Wow. How'd you find out about this?
We were selling an adjacent property, it came up. I guess it was the other lawyer from the buyers that picked up on it.
The title search.
So we never, it wasn't recorded, I guess.
Okay.
So one of the conditions, the other conditions, was part of the driveways to remain unpaved, which it still is to this day. Gravel driveway. That's the stuff within the buffer. The rest of it is paved, but this is outside of the buffer zone. I think most of this NOI was really just for the entrance to the driveway, because a lot of the house and the property seems to be outside. It's hard to tell without going through the minutes or watching. There's no video for this, so
No.
just reading the.
Not 94.
Sure there's not.
I walked around the house and everything seems to be built in accordance with the approved plan. Just got some pictures above, this is what the septic area was, the front yard, it's all grass. Just kind of went around, showed all sides of the property. And then, that's when the dog found me, right there. There he is, right there. So. Yard, it's all grass, beautiful property. Any issues with this? I venture to guess it's the driveway that's what triggered the NOI. So, this is all built according to the approved plans. Since this is so old, I'd recommend issuing a full certificate of compliance so we can close this up.
Any comments or objections?
I don't have any.
No. 1990.
Do you?
No, none whatsoever.
Yeah.
Really.
Or- You want me to make a motion? I'll make a motion to approve certificate of compliance for DP 143-207, 60 Northwest Main Street, map 186, lot 1.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded by Brendan to approve the order of conditions, or to approve the certificate of compliance for DP number 143-207. Roll call vote, please.
Jim Farn, aye.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Josiah Birch, aye.
Mark Mungem, aye. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
So be ready to pick up tomorrow, we'll give you a call so you can come get
Okay,
it.
thank you.
Awesome, thank you.
Did the dog get you?
Notice me first, once it did. Post that to the third.
I already signed that one.
Okay.
Whatever, oh, I didn't realize there's still more.
I still have it.
Sorry.
Slows me down to have to sign and
Print.
print.
I keep asking them to have our names already there, you know?
You know what?
Pre-printed
I
on.
have a stamp from planning board from years ago. I should find it.
We do, and then folks sign over
Oh, I'm gonna bring it.
the thing. They sign over the printed name, leave it over. Did happen.
It's all right, it's just. We should just get our own stamps.
Yeah, I have one.
Can you buy us one?
No, can't do
These
that.
lines we cannot space out.
Did
They're
you
not
want that
large.
back?
Stamps are larger than the signature lines.
No.
Issue.
All right. Next up on the agenda is something that I asked to be added, which was, I want to just talk about our Conservation Commission properties. Being that our meetings are a little shorter right now, I thought it might be a good time just to bring everybody a little bit up to date on them and learn a little bit more about them myself, because I really don't know what properties we have and what's being done with them, and if we have any, restrictions or requirements or anything like that. So I asked Matt to send everybody a map of the town with the Conservation Commission lands identified. And I kind of, I have something to hand out as well. Pass that around. So, just my thoughts is that we have a number of different parcels. I think on that, I think we have 10 different parcels now, is that right?
Yes.
They're spread around town. They're not, and there's no two parcels that are combined. Some don't even have any frontage. There are various sizes. I mean, it goes from Cummings Court, which is a 2-acre parcel, to, Conservation Drive now, which is over 100 acres of land.
Now, these, Mr. Chairman, these are all properties that are in the care of the Conservation Commission?
Correct. These are all town land in the care of the Conservation Commission. They're not any that aren't.
Like deed restriction?
Nope.
Just town?
Nope. They're all under the Conservation Commission's jurisdiction, if you will, or care. So, I got to thinking that we should kind of do a review of the different pieces of land, see what's there, what they are, see if there's any management that should be done on them, how we want to manage them.
Is there any encroachment by neighbors?
Is there any encroachment by neighbors? Things like that, exactly. I mean, I've never seen most of them. There are some, off of Mumford Street, it has a really nice trail through it. Everybody on our commission should go walk that one because it's a really pretty piece of property. And that's a real nice piece of land. Some of them have signs, some of them don't. Most of them don't. We have the Keevan property, which was given to the town as a donation in honor of Mr. Keevan, and we don't even have a sign on it yet. And we've had it for 15 or 20 years. So I'd like to, make sure that we address things like that. So in terms of management, I'm sorry, go ahead, Jim.
No, I was just gonna ask, do we have a budget for like signs and stuff?
No.
Ask for one at town meeting.
Okay.
So it's like management, what would our objectives be? Do we, just let it sit there And that might be fine for some of these. Wildlife enhancement, is there a forestry program that we might want to, do on some of the land to be able to generate some money for signage or for paths or for something else? Passive recreation, hiking trails, things like that. Working with the Open Space Committee to establish some trails on the land. Would some be suitable for more active recreation? There's a 5-acre parcel off of Whiten Estates, off of, what's it called? What street is that?
Heights.
Douglas Hill?
Douglas Hills Way, right. It's, it was the developer of the property built smaller lots, and in doing so, they had to give the town open space, which was then put under our review. And but we're not doing anything with it. It's 5 acres. I think it's up on top of a hill. So I think it's decent land.
Another 8.5 to come as part of that development.
Right.
So, Mr. Chairman, could I ask a question about this?
You sure can, absolutely.
So there's, if I'm seeing this right, 4 areas on the maps we have? But
Yeah.
is there more than that?
There's more than that.
Okay.
I just started to do that this afternoon and did 4 of them and ran out of time.
Got it.
So and these were 4 that, I really don't know anything about or very much about. I mean, I've walked down Cummings Court, and I didn't even know where the entrance was into this until I looked at this plan and said, oh, yeah, I guess there's some woods between those 2 houses, so I guess that's where you go into it. But then, in thinking about it, it might make a nice connection between Soldiers Field and the town and some of the properties. The retirement home or the retirement village is bounds on this land, and then over to the water protection land along Rydell Brook. So, I mean, it really connects well to the center of town and to other town properties. So I just wanted to bring it forward and have us maybe start thinking about it and maybe organize some walks this later winter or spring before the trees leaf out, and maybe, go have our commission members, if they want to, go look at the sites. So,
Ms. Callaghan's here. Do you want to ask her what some of the work the Open Space Committee's been doing on this?
absolutely.
Okay, so I can give you some updates on a few things. We're targeting New Keven right now because that's the one that's been sitting so long. I am open to suggestions on getting companies for quotes. Because I'm trying to line up quotes to get the parking area opened up and the trail opened up in past the stone wall. Because we were going to put that on the town budget too.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, there's a very narrow easement to get into the Keven property. It's probably, it's only 14 feet? Okay. I was even thinking it might be 20, but yeah, it's narrower than that. There is an easement on the property at the edge of the road to provide us with a spot to park a couple cars, I would say, off the road. But it's treed right now, so have to be some tree removal done and some improvements made and a curb cut made to be able to, park off the road to access that site.
We were thinking on that area right there, the stone wall is in the front, to save those stones, put that against the back side of the easement to delineate
Yes.
the parking area, and also that would be where the sign for the Keven property, the official sign would go.
How many spaces would that give for?
You might get 2 cars in there,
Right.
but it's still some,
No, yeah, I was just
Yeah.
asking.
pursuing other ideas to, maybe other ways to get into there, but for right now, that's the one we're targeting. We did hire Conservation Works to go out there and come up with a trails plan. I'm in the process of getting back out there to tweak it, because I don't like where he sent part of that trail on the other side of that unnamed stream that's out there. So I need to do some more research on that and tweak that a little bit. But he came up with estimates and stuff like that, so we've got that done, and we're tweaking it to make a full trail system out there.
Nice.
Work on that. The Leon Wazinski Conservation Area, I just ordered some signs. Because you've got the parking up here, and the trail entrance is
Right.
down the road. So I want to get together, or even you guys could get together with the highway department, that if they could put that in their duties to keep that parking area trimmed, and also the side of the road trimmed back, so people walking down the road
Right.
are not in the road.
Right.
And to clarify things, so they'll have 2 signs installed at the parking area by the edge of the road, as close as we could, that's allowable, with signs that say Leon Wazinski Conservation Area parking with arrows. So everyone knows that's where the parking is. Where the trailhead sign is, a sign there that, with the sign pointing into the woods trail, and then another sign pointing up the road that says parking, just to let everyone know exactly where they need to go. And I did some further exploring out there on that property, and GPS the existing trail. Had talked with Brandon about moving a section of trail, which people have been walking
Yep.
close to it anyways, by the river.
Yeah.
They just slide coming back to the main trail. But there's more room in that property to make another loop trail back to the main trail. That's off to the left. We did a little bit of exploration onto the right side. What we did that one day wasn't very suitable for trails. But that's just, again, more exploration to see what's out there, what can be done. So those are the 2 that we're kind of targeting right now.
Okay. That's great. The Keven property is 60 acres, so it's a really nice piece of land.
There's some nice old cart roads in there. To tie into them, it's really nice.
Good.
If you look on the screen, on Mumford Street, right across the street here is a 21-foot access to the 100-plus acres of conservation land on Conservation Drive. These could be connected.
Yep.
I mean, there's obviously a river here, some sort of river walk or something to help connect these trail networks. That would be a major advantage for the town.
Yes.
Sorry, that's connecting to which other property?
It's the conservation property off Conservation Drive that we
Yep.
just got this past year.
Yep.
Yep,
And
110-plus acres.
And that's connecting to,
This could connect to the Keven
oh,
property
okay,
right
got
here.
it. Thank you.
Yep. Sorry, not
Keven.
Lozinski property.
To Mazinski
Mazinski
property,
property, yeah.
right. Right.
And there's some really, that 25 Conservation Drive, there was something in there way back when, I don't know what. But there's a canal
Right.
that goes up towards Sutton, and there's bridge abutments from an old bridge that did at one time go over that river.
Really?
Spinning on that.
There's an opportunity,
that.
maybe, huh?
We just acquired that on December 31st,
Yes.
this property here. So this is off Conservation Drive. This widens our access point 20 to 220 feet. So we can get into this large piece of property behind it. A lot of this is protected endangered habitat, but for foot trails, it's generally okay. This property.
So you could access the, from 25 Conservation, you can get to the backland there?
Yep.
Oh, okay. And where on Mumford is the other access? Do you know, kind kind of, well, in relation to where Mazinski's property, Mazinski Conservation
This
is.
is number 82. That's right after 82,
Okay.
in between 82 and 90.
Looks like it crosses the brook, that access point?
Yeah, it kind
Oh.
of snakes right through it,
Yeah,
so couldn't be used for anything else.
no.
Yeah, for the Keegan property, like I said, any suggestions for people that you think could do that type of work that I could get quotes from, I would be happily accept that.
To do the tree removal and the grading to create the parking? Okay.
And there's also some huge boulders in there. There's like a couple of huge boulders, I think from the house that was next to it that was built and it just got pushed. And it kind of got pushed into, over the property line. I don't know if someone coming in and actually cracking, splitting the boulders might be the cheapest thing and just to open up the path, then haul that out of there as opposed to taking care of boulders that are the size of 2 Volkswagens.
BFRs, big flipping rock.
B.
It's an actual term we use in business.
Flipping?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly the term we use.
If you want to go explore Keegan out there, I'd be happy to show you the trails that are already existing out there.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Okay.
So how does that work? Does the town pay for that, the road you're talking about, the removal of the rocks, or is it privately funded, or how does that?
It'd have to be town funded, unless it's boosted by private investors.
Or we go after grants.
Right.
But it's still, we're going after grants, because now that we have an updated open space plan, we can go after some grants, but then the town's still going to have to commit some money towards it, because those grants are not going to pay 100% for the project.
So then you're talking about bidding out this kind of work? Okay.
There is, I think there might be a amount that you
Threshold.
can get 3 quotes and get done without it going out to bid, per se. It might be $25,000 or something like that.
That's what I was hoping for, because that bidding process is a pain
Right,
and expensive.
exactly.
So what's the limit if it's
I think it's 20.
20, so 20,000 and under? It doesn't have to go out to bid.
I think so.
But you
Right.
still usually have to
I'll
get 3
double check that.
quotes.
You have to get 3 quotes, right. And, but, that doesn't mean that you can't break a project up. You can have somebody come do the clearing, someone do the
Get creative.
grading, yeah, exactly.
Well, I would think, I'm not speaking for anybody, but I would think there would be construction companies that might want the stone, quite frankly. I don't know, the BFS,
BFR.
I'm sorry, BFRs, my bad.
Yeah.
Are there educational opportunity type grants, like grants that would be given with preference to people who are like creating educational opportunities? I have to look into that, I guess.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's coming from the state. I'm not sure there's an educational slant towards it. There'd be an addendum to enhance the project, but not 100%. But there's grants out there for everything.
Gotta find them all.
Yes.
I'll do some digging.
But we don't have a budget for anything,
No, we have to get appropriations at town meeting. We have estimates.
for anything, signs.
Yep. Unless we set a budget at town meeting for a certain amount that we can pull from. That's a request we can make, but we'd have to discuss that at a future meeting under an agenda.
I think we should add that to an agenda in the future.
But I think, Mark, correct me if I'm wrong where you were headed, it'd be good to have, like, the plans you were putting together, it might be a good idea to have, like, something more formal that shows all the town-owned land or the land that we're responsible for. I'm not saying we have to hire an engineer to go out and survey it, but at least have it all documented so we know where it all is.
Right.
Being new to the town, I have no idea. This is all
There are
Greek to me.
companies out there that
Right.
specialize in these kinds of inspections. It's usually for conservation restrictions, deed restricted land, where they'll go out yearly and they would do what's called whipping the bounds. And they go all the corners and they check to make sure if the use, is being used as it was intended to be used. Is there any encroachments, what the, general shape of the land is like. There are companies that do that for a cost, of course, but they're out there.
Yeah, I think if we just tackle one by one on our agenda for what we have for the lands, and then the next one, when the weather gets just a tad bit warmer, you can go take a look. Some of us aren't built, like you.
A tad bit warmer, yeah.
Just a tad bit.
Gonna get your snowshoes out.
Snowshoes.
Yeah.
But I think that would be something good.
Yeah, I just got to thinking that as the number of our properties grows, like we just added 2 more properties, it's just.
'Cause otherwise we'll just.
I mean,
come on.
I thought it was great that you created that list and put that list on the annual report.
Yeah.
I mean, because that was one thing I was going to suggest that we do, is create a list of the different properties and how many acres they are, so
Been on our
that
annual reports for the last few years.
shows how much I read the annual report, doesn't it?
We'll have that on our next agenda to review.
A question on that subject. If we want to add something to the agenda in the future, how do we go about doing that?
Can I ask the chairman? The chairman asked me,
Okay.
one way or the other. You can
Within
ask me,
48 hours.
And I could relay it to the chairman, he sets the agenda, so
Okay.
put the request in, that's fine.
All right. Thanks, Becky. Appreciate your assistance on that. And thanks to the Open Space for being forward-thinking and looking to make improvements on the land, so that's great.
I kind of like doing this because I kind of want to keep us updated, both, because you guys own the property, we're trying to work on it, so I want,
Right.
there's communication going on with
Yeah.
both groups.
No, we need to be in sync, and I mean, I want to know what you're planning and doing, because I didn't realize you were already working on Keven property and had already considered making trails and things like that. So I do think we need to know that, so.
Especially since the trail's going to be going over that unnamed stream.
Right.
Can we name it?
We're gonna have another Beaver Brook,
Sure you
is
can.
that what it was?
The Beaver Bog.
The Beaver Brook.
Yeah, so if there's a stream that's unnamed, go for it. And as long,
Douglas has dedicated this name.
well, if enough people start calling it, eventually somebody's going to write it down somewhere, and then that's how it
It'll be
happens.
official.
Like
That's how
that
it,
pond.
yeah, it makes it unofficially official.
So Matt, if I say, if I'm thinking, we want to have, we want to maybe go for a walk on one of these properties on a Saturday morning or something like that, do we have to put it in an agenda?
We have to post it.
We do.
If there's more than
2?
4 members.
Is it 4?
Yeah, you guys are 5 members, so 3. If there's 2 or less, then no.
Right.
You keep going, Mark, and one of us will add in each time.
All right.
That was actually shot down in Boston once. That's how they did, they tried to bypass the open meeting law by having the chairman in the room, and then one member at a time came in and then left. And they decided that wasn't exactly legal either. But
Creative thinking.
I like the way
Come on, Brandon.
the way you're thinking, Brandon.
Help a brother out, will you?
I know.
All right. So,
Thank you.
yeah, thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, well, I guess we can't arrange for wholesale walks with all the committee unless we kind of have it on the agenda. So I'm not suggesting that we do that
There it is.
until maybe we do that in the
I
spring.
signed it.
So,
Yeah, that works.
Did. Oh, I did.
all right.
I got it twice. Sorry.
Anything else? Or
What's left?
I think that,
Any other topics anybody want to talk about?
oh, can we just have an updated list
Schedule?
scheduled for next time?
Oh, our meeting schedule?
Yeah, for the year. Because, we've made so many changes.
Oh, I hope the last one that came out was right. I already had it.
I don't even know anymore. I just kind of, there you go, sir.
Is it this one that's in the,
I don't know anymore.
The first and third, but there's.
But then we added a couple of other ones.
I think she
No,
emailed
last,
it out, I thought.
did she?
Yeah, she emailed
Oh,
something.
I'll go back and look.
I'll
I
print
didn't-
them out, put them in your packets.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
it is, you're right, though, it was very confusing, I had to check all of them.
See? I just drive. If there's no cars, then I know I can go back home.
So when is our next meeting?
February
3rd?
3rd, I think.
Third.
Yep, February 3rd. And then March 3rd? Okay.
Oh, wow.
One a month, yeah?
Because we have
Oh, because of the
Martin Luther
holidays,
King
yeah.
Day, I think, and then also,
So we don't have another one this month?
Correct.
we do not,
Oh, that's kind of weird. Okay.
yes.
All right.
Can the Conservation Commission accept donations, or is there like a
Oh, of course they can.
Cool.
In fact, I've seen some
fundraiser?
articles in MACC newsletter recommending that you try to go out and get them.
Yeah, like fundraising,
Yeah.
if we can't get money through the town.
Correct.
Good to know.
Encourage people to give donations.
We just can't sell cookies, because then we're infringing on the Girl Scouts. That would be sad.
That wouldn't be bad.
The Girl Scout Mafia will come down.
Yeah,
hard.
exactly.
Can I make a motion?
Sure.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Yeah.
Second.
Adjourn.
Motion's been made and seconded to adjourn.
Jim
Roll
Fo-
call.
Jim Farnay.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Josiah Birch, aye.
Mark Mungem, aye.